Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you here with us on Ask Doc Live. Now, if you are brand new or if you just need a little reminder, if you're on live with us, there is a chat function. Go ahead and turn that chat function on because our amazing co-hosts will be putting a lot of information in there for you that you'll be able to take screenshots of and refer to later on products that are going to be mentioned today, ways to get in contact with us, and also valuable information that are just resources to have on hand. My name is Rebecca Dukes Kozak, and I will be your host for the next 2 hours on Ask Doc Live. Also, if you're on live with us and you would like to ask Dr. Wallach a question, make sure you find that option to raise your hand, as I will be calling upon people in the order that their hands were raised. I'll be going back and forth between emails that we've received also on AskDocLive.com under Contact Us. Or if you're one of our newsletter subscribers, and you receive the newsletter invitation and you reply to that with a question, I will be trying to get some of those questions as well. But without further ado, the content of this program is to provide educational information only on the importance of nutrition and supplementation. Folks, our food supplies are null and void of what the body really needs in order to thrive. We might be surviving, but we deserve to thrive. And the information in this program is going to share ways that you can do that naturally, as the body itself is amazing. It's a creation that has come from this tiny little cell and multiplied into what we have today. Now, the FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. And this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. We always recommend that you work with your physician, because as things start improving and changing, if you're on pharmaceuticals, they're going to need to be looked at. Now, we are honored to have our good doctor with us, who has actually been very instrumental in suing the FDA with 9 victories, folks. Those victories have led to allowing us to be able to share this information with you and also have vital nutrients added to common food supplies that were missing what was needed most. Now, we do bring good news. The genetic theory, if you've been diagnosed with something genetic as far as a disease goes, the genetic theory has been proven incorrect. What we put in our bodies, what we have on our bodies, plays a lot into how our genes are expressed. So let's give the body exactly what it wants to thrive and take away the toxins. And that is part of what this program is going to be sharing with you today. Again, my name is Becca Dukes Kozak. This show is being sponsored by AskDocLive.com. Now, on this website, we do have a store. We do have all of the replays from almost 2 years now. Next month will be 2 years that we have been doing the Ask Doc Live show, bringing information to you that is empowering you to make options all on your own to better health. If you were invited by somebody specific to watch this program, whether you're on live or watching the replay, make sure that you get back with them. They took the time and thought of you enough to share this information with you to help you find a better health journey or maintain good health. It's not all about helping sick people. It's about making sure that even those that aren't don't get there. Now, it is my honor to be able to share with you the amazing Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome, Dr. Wallach, to Ask Doc Live.
Well, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you for your team. You guys are the greatest. And thank you for the kind words and the kind direction. You gave a super job there. Appreciate it. Well, today I've collected information that's going to kind of add details to what we've been talking about off and on for the last 6 weeks or so. And I'm going to start out with we have not done a good job when it comes to longevity, our lifespan. The medical doctors tell us we have the greatest healthcare system in the world. Well, they are the healthcare system in the world, and they're looking in the mirror and saying, "Oh, we have the greatest healthcare system in the world." The average lifespan of America, the life expectancy of an American is 75. The life expectancy of everybody else in the world is like 85 to 91. We rank somewhere between 47th and 54th in the world when it comes to life expectancy in the industrialized world. Okay, we're doing a lousy job of longevity. Okay, and that's because the medical system has the incorrect belief that you can get everything you need just by eating well. Eat the 4 food groups, eat the 7 food group pyramid, and you get everything you need. Don't waste your money on taking, quote, supplements, unquote. Okay, that's absolutely 100% incorrect. Now, right now, everybody agrees upon the oldest living person on Earth is a lady in South Africa by the name of Johanna Mazibuko. Johanna Mazibuko. She was born May 11th in 1894. So this last May 11th, she turned 128. And you go to Siri and look her up. Johanna Mazibuko, Mazibuko, and she still stays at home. She's not in a nursing home at 128, and she cleans her own house and gardens, and she walks her great-great-grandkids to school, and she shops in the local food markets and stuff like that. And she does use a walker. She hasn't had any surgeries or anything like that, and she looks like a middle-aged woman. And this is very remarkable. And she grew up on a farm, but they didn't grow wheat, barley, rye, or oats. They grew corn. Okay, and so she stayed away from all the bad stuff because she lived on a farm, grew up on a farm that didn't have wheat, barley, rye, and oats. They only had corn, which has no gluten in it. Okay, so I'll start out there. Then we're going to go back to talking about 3 diseases: osteoporosis of the skull, and of course we have the book "It's All in Your Head." Okay, and you and I are putting out a CD, okay, on this to be the same title, and it's going to be kind of like the last chapter in the book. It's going to be attached to the book here. We're very excited about that. It's All in Your Head because it has a lot of new information, okay, about what's going on in your head. And so we're going to talk about osteoporosis of the skull. We're going to talk about multiple sclerosis. We're going to talk about Guillain-Barré syndrome. Okay. Well, Guillain-Barré syndrome goes back to 1916. There were 2 French doctors, one by the name of Guillain, the other one called Barré. Okay. And so they called it the Guillain-Barré syndrome because in 1916, they recognized that teenagers in France were getting this weird complex or syndrome where they get tingling and numbness in their feet. And in a couple of weeks, the tingling and numbness went up to their knees. In a couple of weeks, the tingling and numbness went up to their hips and then up to their neck and so forth. And they'd get paralyzed and so forth. And about 10% would die, and some were permanently disabled, and some would get better and worse and better and worse and better and worse. That was kind of the history of this disease, the Guillain-Barré syndrome. Okay. Now, with that said, let's go to MS, multiple sclerosis, which has all the same symptoms here as Guillain-Barré syndrome, but it starts, I'd say 90% of the people who are diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, are diagnosed at age 25. Whereas Guillain-Barré syndrome, they're diagnosed at 8 and 10 and 12 and that kind of thing, okay? And of course, people who were experts in MS, multiple sclerosis, said that kids didn't get it. Well, that's because they named it a different thing, Guillain-Barré syndrome, okay? It's really the same disease. In both cases, Guillain-Barré syndrome and MS, there's a demyelination process. Myelin is this insulation material on the on the cells and also the nerves in the brain and the spinal cord and the peripheral nerves and everything. And it's the insulation material, okay? And it's made out of 80% fat and 20% protein, is myelin. Now that 80% fat, depending on what part of the brain and nervous system you're talking about, whether it's the brain, what part of the brain, what part of the spinal cord and so on, can be 20% or 30% or 50% or 75% cholesterol. So who told people to get off of cholesterol? Doctors. Who mistakenly said that cholesterol causes plaque in your arteries? Doctors. Okay. And so this is what's going on with MS, multiple sclerosis. Okay. And it's kind of interesting. Women have 3 times the rate of diagnoses of MS than men. Women have 4 times the rate of diagnosis of osteoporosis, including the skull, than men. Now, is this a gender issue? No, it's diet. Okay. Now, Rebecca, when a girl goes through puberty and they want to be cute and chase the boys and have boys chase them, why is it that they start changing their diet? They change their diet very dramatically because they don't want to what?
They don't want to gain weight.
They don't want to gain weight. Okay. And they want shiny hair and all, they want beautiful skin and all this kind of stuff. So they're giving up all the bad stuff according to what doctors say. Okay. And this is why they have 4 times the rate of osteoporosis. Now, both people with MS, including Guillain-Barré syndrome, and also osteoporosis of the skull, have celiac disease. Celiac disease is a manifestation of gluten damages the intestine. So instead of your small intestine looking like a shag rug and all those villi sticking up, okay, to give you a more absorptive surface, the gluten issue and celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, we're talking about Crohn's disease, diverticulitis. These things are all caused by gluten consumption. And the gluten makes a poison that actually kills these villi. So instead of looking like a shag rug when you open up an intestine at surgery or maybe at autopsy, instead of looking like a shag rug with all those villi, your lining your intestines look like a plastic tube. You've lost 90% of your absorptive surface. So even if you're supplementing, you can't absorb but 2% of it. So it's not enough to prevent and reverse all these problems. Okay. So people have to eat 3 eggs twice a day when they're adults. When they're kids, when they're babies, even if the mother's got to be doing that. So it's coming through the breast milk if she's breastfeeding them. Okay. And that's one of the reasons why we came up with, gosh, it's a long story, but I'll just throw in just 2 or 3 minutes of it. We're back in 1977, I discovered the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, supposed to be a terrible birth defect, okay, in humans. It was in a monkey in the NASA colony at Yerkes Primate Center at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. And I sent the slides of their liver and pancreas and lungs. I didn't tell them it was from a monkey, to 5 medical schools. And I said, I think this is cystic fibrosis. What do you think? And they all said, oh, classic example of cystic fibrosis. And so then I wrote them back and said, hey, thank you. This is on their letterhead. Okay. He said, this is actually from a monkey. And so this is the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis. I knew that's what it was. And so thank you. This is really dramatic. And that we found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis. At the very least, we have an animal model to study it. Okay. And so that was good. And then, to make a long story short, he said we had all these lawsuits, and we were all the time petitioning in between the lawsuits to get these nutrients put into baby formulas. And finally, we won 9 cases, and we finally won 12 cases. And they were forced to put they've been sort of resisting it for 25 years. Okay, because doctors would say, oh, don't put these nutrients into baby formulas because they're poison, it'll kill the babies and blah, 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 blah. So these companies were afraid to do that. And so finally, the FDA forced them because we won the petitions and lawsuits. So they had to follow the NIH's direction and put these nutrients into the baby formula. It wasn't long, just in like 90 days after that, not only did cystic fibrosis go away, but also muscular dystrophy went away. And we gave a bunch of these records to Jerry Lewis and the telethon. And over 50 years, he had raised $2.7 billion for the telethon okay, for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Make a long story short, he got excited. He took it there. And one of our great associates, Marvin Ropp, a Marine who was helping me with these muscular dystrophy kids in Idaho and Utah, went with Jerry, and they fired the Muscular Dystrophy Association, shut down the telethon immediately and fired Jerry Lewis because they didn't want the news to get out that muscular dystrophy was not a genetic disease. Okay, so that was kind of crazy. But then also we got another thing. Suddenly you didn't hear anything about sudden death syndrome anymore. Mothers were supposed to be laying on their babies and babies suffocating, and there's like 400 American mothers commit suicide because their families disowned them because the doctors said they were laying on the babies and suffocating their babies. These babies are dying of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, the same thing as these young athletes died from, a simple deficiency of a single mineral. All these things got put into the baby formulas. And in 1990, let's see here, in 1990, let's see here, sudden death syndrome, SIDS, occurred at a rate of 135 to 140 per 100,000 in 1990, 100,000 normal births. Today, it's 15 to 20 per 100,000 normal births. We dropped the rate of sudden death syndrome by 90% or more, just simply by putting these nutrients into the baby formulas. Okay, so we were able to prove unequivocally that it was a nutritional deficiency causing the death of these babies, not the mothers laying on them. Okay, now, did the doctors come out and say, okay, we apologize, and we have our legal systems here, so if you feel like you need to sue us or something, go ahead and do it, because we will pay the damages and blah blah blah. No, they didn't do that. They just shut up and skulked away like skunks in the night. Okay. It was a remarkable thing to see. Now they've come up with the metabolic syndrome, because they know I'll beat them up to death if they talk about genetics, if they talk about autoimmune. So now they've come up with a metabolic syndrome. What is the metabolic syndrome? Oh, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. We've already proven that these things are just simple nutritional deficient diseases. Okay, so this is where we're going. Okay, I'm very excited about that. And we can save lives. We can add 25 to 50 healthy years of people's lives. I want our average lifespan to go up to what? Oh, 128.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 200, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, well, 200 is coming. That's our goal here. Thank you, dear. All right, now I want to go on to the next piece here. About 6 weeks ago, U.S. government released a statement. We've talked about this before, that there's $85 billion spent each year by pharmaceutical companies, okay, and health insurance companies, $85 billion in the United States alone each year just to treat the symptoms of MS, multiple sclerosis. 85 billion. I thought that was terrible, which it is, of course. Okay. It comes out to $40,000 to $60,000 per year per person who has MS. 40,000 to 60,000 a year for each person with MS to pay for their medication just to relieve symptoms, not to get rid of the disease. Now, just about a week ago now, the U.S. government came out with another one saying for type 2 diabetes, let's see here, there's $324 billion spent by insurance companies to relieve the symptoms of type 2 diabetes, $324 billion. Now you add those two together, MS and type 2 diabetes, that's $400 billion a year spent just to treat the symptoms of those two diseases. $40,000 to $60,000 a year that are spent on each patient. This is crazy. Now, if they were to get on our program, it dropped down to, let's see here, $2,500 a month if they take our program every day for MS, multiple sclerosis. That's our brain and heart pack, okay, according to body weight. And it's like a little over $200, $220 per month. That beats 40,000. Okay. Okay. Isn't that crazy? And so it's and if that's, if $200 a month is too much for you, just take half a dose every month instead of a full dose every month, and you'll still be farther ahead. Okay. And then for the blood sugar issues, type 2 diabetes, it's only $173 175 in there dollars per month. Okay, so it's less than $200, excuse me, $2,000 per year, whereas the thing with MS, multiple sclerosis, is $2,500 per year. But again, you can take a half of those every month, and you'll be way farther ahead. Now, it's one of those things where this is very simple stuff, and we can save an enormous amount of money, add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life, and you will be blessed. And you'll save an enormous amount of money. The insurance rate should go down, and that's a very exciting prediction, because it's like gravity. Once you know about gravity, it's, you can to predict. You jump off of a 50-story building, you're going to fall down because gravity is going to pull you down. Okay, you're not going to be able to just float up there when you jump off a 50-story building. And you can jump off the top of the roof of your house, and you have a 2-story house. You're jumping off of, say, 20 feet, not 50 stories, but you still can break your leg and break your ribs and stuff like that. You might even die, okay, jumping off your roof. And so you know about gravity. Well, these diseases are the same as gravity. They're caused by nutritional deficiencies. Now, we came up with a thing for kids, even though the baby is breastfeeding, and this is something which is very important now, because these baby formulas are difficult to get, for like 3 months or more, 6 months maybe. They had a trouble getting the baby formulas. Well, some years ago, we came out with the Kids Toddy. It's a complete liquid, tastes good. And I said, even though the mother's breastfeeding the baby and she's doing a good job of staying away from gluten and taking her 90 essential nutrients, I want every baby in America to have one meal a day from the moment they're born, in one of these infant formulas with the Kids Toddy, and it has a by weight dosage level on the back label of the bottle. And then don't forget the cherry mins and the EFAs, so they don't get blood clots and asthma at 3 months of age and all this kind of stuff. All these things are very simple nutritional deficiency diseases. And it's just a good thing that we came out with this Kids Toddy, okay, because again, it's been real difficult to get the formulas. They're importing them from England, they're importing them from Germany, they're importing them from France. And I've been looking, because they give the analysis of them, and sure enough, they're putting those nutrients in there so they don't get sudden death syndrome kind of thing, okay? And they don't get cystic fibrosis, they don't get muscular dystrophy. And so that's a good thing. But I still want them to have our Kids Toddy, the cherry mins and the EFAs, one meal a day. These are an add-on for these kids. And if you can't get some of these formulas because they haven't gotten to your location yet, you can use goat's milk, you can use cow's milk. That's what's been going on since the beginning of time, okay? But you have to add to it the Kids Toddy, the cherry mins, and the EFAs. Add that to the goat's milk and the cow's milk, and you'll have a complete formula for our babies. So it's not a mystery. But the doctor's saying, don't make your own. Don't make your own. Just do nothing. Wait. Well, if they waited for 3 months, waited for 6 months, what are the babies supposed to eat? Okay, they're absolutely insane. Just like the mothers are laying on the babies and the babies are in the crib. The mothers are climbing in the crib and laying on the babies in the crib. That's nonsense. Okay, and so I don't know where these doctors come up with this stuff. Well, now they come up with a metabolic syndrome, because that sounds very medical. The metabolic syndrome, because they know if they talk about something being genetic or autoimmune, I'm going to be on them, and they know that. Okay, so with all that said, I'm very excited about this. This is, we're going in the right direction, and of course, it's got to be driven by the people. It's got to be driven by the people. Okay, I can't knock on the door of every office of every medical doctor out there, and that's why many years, Dr. Milan and I, we came out with the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. We came out with this, it was actually an audio cassette tape to begin with, and it became a CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's in 9 languages. In California, we saw an enormous amount of Spanish of the CDs, and also the Spanish books, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, but all over the world. We're shipping these books and CDs to 80 countries, okay? And so it's one of those things where we're trying to get the information out there as fast as we can, as completely as we can. And as a result of all this work, in 2015, I became the third person in the world to get and be honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award for Natural Medicine and Philanthropy from the United Nations in August of 2015. Very, very proud of that. And here's a picture of me at their offices in New York City receiving that award. Okay. And I'm breathless. So finally, somebody recognized that we're doing something good to help the world's children, and it's a blessing. So, and if you don't have any experience with nutrition, we do have the set, The Truth About Nutrition, the book, the CD, the DVD, and it's a college education in that set, okay? You'll get more information in that set, The Truth About Nutrition, the book, the CD, and the DVD. It comes as a set, the 3 pieces, and you'll get more information about nutrition and the diseases that they can prevent and reverse than you would by going to a nutrition class in high school or in college. Okay, over to you, Rebecca.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. There is so much information that is not being shared. And folks, if you hear it, you are part of the tribe, the family that needs to share this information with others. You're not going to hear it anywhere else. They're not going to hear it if we don't share it. And if we love somebody, why would you keep something that could save their life, or at least give them the opportunity of having a better quality of life? I wouldn't. I couldn't. You know, whenever I found Dr. Wallach and his programs, I got great results. They continue to get better and better. And this is part of my thank you to Dr. Wallach in hosting this program and making sure others get the information as well.
And we can't thank you and your team enough, because you have a far reach, and it's quality information. And so I applaud you and your team. Thank you so much.
Well, I love and appreciate my team. It's John T. McCollier, Nasima Omar, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, Heather Bowen, and Dr. Judy Reynolds. We are here because, Dr. Wallach, we believe in and support your mission and helping others get information on how they themselves can be more empowered. And folks, if you're on with us live, make sure that you have that chat on. They are putting some valuable information in that chat to help you get an idea of what we're talking about, because Dr. Wallach, he speaks fast. So taking notes, I even have a hard time, and I've been listening to him for over 7 years now. So I encourage you to turn that chat on, and you can find the replay to all of our programs again on AskDocLive.com. If you're on live with us, go ahead and raise your hand. We have a few hands up right now that we're going to be getting to Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
And let's just see how many we can get in today. I love helping people, and oh, wonderful. We have people that have sent in questions and have called and left messages with their hands up. So this is the best place to get your answers right from the doctor himself. So first, let's go to, and forgive me, is it Zainab? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, it is Zainab. Thank you.
Zainab, awesome. Welcome. And you're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I am a heart attack survivor. I'm 8 weeks into recovery. And right now I've been prescribed what they call the heart attack cocktail of like 12 to like 6 drugs. And I'm just wondering if there are ways of addressing my recovery through nutrition as opposed to these prescription medicines.
How old are you?
67.
67.
Yes.
And how tall are you?
5'4".
And how much you weigh?
230.
Okay, at 5'4", I'd like to see you weigh maybe 120 120, 130, so you're maybe 100 pounds overweight. Okay. And then now when you had your heart attack, was it a blood clots? Was it coronary artery disease?
It was clots. It was clots. I had one stent put in and there's still some blockages there that they didn't
Okay.
address. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other issues? Any high blood pressure or diabetes?
I do not. It's obesity and lower body arthritis.
So you have some bone issues from the waist down or from mid back down?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any ringing in your ears?
No,
Any dizziness or balance problems?
only from the medications.
Okay. Now, how many times a night do you wake up to go urinate?
Right now, I don't do that. I used to do that prior to the heart attack, at least once a night.
Okay. All right. So the medication has put a damper on that. Okay. Are you taking medication for the arthritis?
Only supplements.
Okay, good. Okay, well, here we go. To 230 pounds, I need you to lose 100 pounds. So I want you to get our, well, 1 meal a day, our keto shake. Comes in strawberry or chocolate. It's a meal replacer. It's not to add to a meal. So it doesn't matter. It could be any meal. Today it could be lunch. Tomorrow it could be dinner time. It doesn't matter. But it's a meal replacer, not to add to a meal. And then I want you to drink with that 1 or 2 of our Rebound. Our Rebound sports drink has 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. It's not an energy drink like Red Bull, which is nothing but caffeine and sugar. Okay, our sports drink, as we call it, a sports drink instead of an energy drink. Okay, because ours is more of a support of every system in the body. So, in addition to that, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to take 2 bottles a month of our MSM and take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they will support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone breaks, bone itself, rebuild everything. That's the MSM. Then I also want you to have our, let's see here, Beyond OsteoFX. Go ahead and take, let's see here, 2 servings a day of that, 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner time. It comes in liquid, comes in capsules, comes in powder, so you can decide which way you're going to do it. Okay, that's the, let's see here. Then I also want you to take our collagen peptides, get a canister of that powder. Doesn't have any taste, but it is the collagen, connective tissue and disc and bones and tendons and ligaments from fish, poultry, sheep, and cattle. Okay, I want you to take a scoop of that in your breakfast drink and a scoop of that in your evening drink. I also want you to have 2 bottles a month of our vitamin D3. So you can take 3 D3 at breakfast and 3 D3 at dinner time, so you can absorb these things and to help rebuild your bones and connective tissue and so forth. And you'll lose about a half a pound to 2 pounds a day on this program. And you have to just consciously, anytime when people get 100 pounds overweight, it's because they're nutritionally deficient. They develop a behavior called pica. And even though you're eating a nice dinner, you say, I better have another helping of everything. I'm still hungry. Because when you're missing nutrients, your body develops this behavior called pica, and you keep looking for that nutrient that's missing. And so you're eating more, looking for that food. And that's why people become obese. You take these nutrients, and you find that 1 or 3 or 5, whatever it is, they're missing. Then suddenly now, hey, you're not finishing your plate. Well, I don't know. I'm just not hungry anymore. And you'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day without any effort on your part. Okay, very, very quickly. All right, so give us a call every couple of weeks because you're going to have a great story. We deal literally with thousands of people every day all around the world with the same issue. And so you're going to have a great story. We have a lot of experience with this. So give us a call every week or every 2 weeks, however you want to do it, and let us know what's going on because your story will help a lot of people. Okay, and pronounce your name for me again.
Zainab.
Dana?
Zainab.
Zainab. Oh, Zainab.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay, Zainab. We'll look forward to hearing from you soon. God bless.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Let's
you.
see here.
So Doc, you are completely right. When you give your body the nutrients that it needs, it does not feel like it's in a constant nonstop starvation mode anymore.
Yeah, and if you have personal experience.
I have
How much-
personal experience.
Okay, how much, you're very beautiful now, okay, and I'm sure you were beautiful
What
before.
are you talking about? No, I'm getting better with age, that's for sure.
And how much weight did you lose on the program?
I've lost 100 pounds.
Wow. You have an amazing story, and so your story gives hope to so many people. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Well, it's my honor, Dr. Wallach, and I feel it part of my obligation to society to say, hey, there are options. We do not have to depend on a system that's failing us.
Yeah, and then for a nutritional deficiency, they want to do bypass surgery. Okay. They want to do drugs to try and solve a problem. It's a nutritional deficiency problem. And this is why they have failed. And that's why they have given up the terms autoimmune and genetic, and they're going to the metabolic syndrome.
I had
That sounds very doctory. Okay.
It is. Sounds very
Metabolic.
okay, so what does that mean exactly? I don't know.
Well, go ask your doctor, right?
Your blood sugar's all out of whack. All of your cells are not functioning the way they're supposed to. They're breaking down. Your body is breaking down. And yeah, just take this pill. It's a chemical. It'll mask all those symptoms and, forget about it. Well, no, it didn't work for me, Dr. Wallach. So, but let's continue to share the information that does work.
Okay.
And John has a question in regards to fasting. What is your opinion on fasting? Just on a regular basis, not even based on, religious fasting for specific days. In general.
Okay. Well, in general, I'm not big on fasting, okay? Because you need, whether you're sleeping or you're working physically, your body needs these 90 essential nutrients in a constant stream 24/7 to have optimal health and add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life. So you can spend 25 to 50 more years with the people you love and so forth. Okay. When you fast, you're talking about a thought that goes back hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, because people didn't feel good and they would stop eating for a couple of days, and they call that fasting, and they felt better. And then they started eating again, and then they felt bad again. So they would fast, say 3 days a month or something like that. And they would feel better for 3 or 4 or 5 days, but then all the bad stuff would come back every time they started eating again. Well, this is because they were nutritionally deficient. And, who knows what was going on? They probably had 15 different diseases or more. And so the old days weren't really as good as people said. Okay. And so fasting, now for religious reasons, that's a different story. But for just on a routine health basis, no, I see no value in fasting.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, we have some people that whenever they do fast, they continue to take their supplements. Is that okay?
Yes, that's a much better way. If you're not going to eat meals, continue to take your supplements. Just take it with water, or something like our liquid rebound or something like that. And so that's fine. But you do have to continue to take your required nutrients. Okay. It's just one of those things where there's not a single moment of the day you can be without these things if you're going to have maximum benefit for health.
I agree. Thank you, Dr. Wallach, for sharing. Great question, John. Let's go to Stacy, who has her hand up. Stacy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Joining us from far lands on the other side of the country. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you very much.
Hi.
Yes.
I apologize. I didn't get that. Where are you from?
Well, I'm actually an American, but I live in Sweden.
Okay, so you're calling us from Sweden right now.
Yes.
Okay, good. How can we help you, Stacy?
Yes. I have seen a health issue on my arms and on my legs where the pigment, like these white type of, I don't know if they're sunspots or whatever, where the pigment is, not the same. It's just this white type of spots. And then I also have on my right toe, I'm starting to feel like a burning sensation as well.
Okay, do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus?
Not that I know of.
Okay, well, you'd know it. Okay, any dizziness or balance problems?
No, I've had in the past low blood pressure, but it's been going up recently.
Okay, how much do you weigh and how old are you?
I weigh 147 pounds. I am 57 years old.
How tall?
5'8".
Okay, do you have gray, white, or silver hair?
I have some, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you color your hair?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, these white spots are called vitiligo. Okay, this is okay. It's the same cause. It's caused by the same thing that causes white hair. White hair, silver hair, gray hair is not caused by aging. It's due to nutritional deficiency, and some people get vitiligo with it, and some people don't. Okay, and so at 147 pounds, do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No. No.
Okay. You ever been
My
treated?
pressure is a little bit higher. It's a little bit higher than it used to be. It used to be very low. So yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything going on for like anemia, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. What about your bowels? You have constipation, diarrhea?
I've been having constipation recently, but when I drink water, it usually goes away. But I've been on the keto diet now for like a month and a half.
Okay. And then also, let's see here. Have you ever been diagnosed with anything like Crohn's disease or celiac disease or irritable bowel syndrome or anything like that?
No, not diagnosed, and I've had issues with gluten, so that is an issue. But I've been off of it for a month and a half.
Okay, good. Yeah, you have to stay off of it forever. Everybody
Yes,
you're associated with it, they got to get rid of it so that you're not getting cross-contaminated. Okay, well, here we go. You need to get rid of all the bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, no sugar, no carbonation. Even the diet drinks need to go, because the carbonation in diet drinks still neutralize your stomach acid, so you can't absorb minerals and digest food. So that's very important. And then at 147 pounds, I want you to have, and this is for our listeners all over the world too, I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose thing twice a day. I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our, let's see here, of our MSM. So you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone rakes, bone cells, skin also. Okay, and also the hair will be involved here. And then I want you to take our collagen peptides, okay, which is collagen from fish and poultry and sheep and beef. I want you to take a scoop of that with your morning drink, scoop of that with your evening drink. I also want you to take our hair, skin, and nails. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month, the hair, skin, and nails. And then I want you to take vitamin D3, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or excuse me, 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. That'll be 2 bottles a month of our vitamin D3, so you can absorb these minerals and put them in the right place. And this burning situation in your toes and so forth will go away. The vitiligo goes away very quickly. Your hair color comes back, so you know you're absorbing the nutrients. Yeah. And I have people who've been with me for 30, 40, 50 years. They're 80, 90 years old. And they look like they're 40. Then they don't color their hair. They used to have gray hair, but their hair came in their normal color. It was red or black or brown or blonde or whatever it was. It comes in, and all their skin issues go away. And so it's definitely worth doing this stuff, because it's going to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And the benefit of that is you get to spend 25 to 50 healthy years with the people you love. Okay, so that's the benefit you get for doing everything right. And do give us a call every couple of weeks, because people want to hear whatever happened to that American who's was in Switzerland, in Sweden. Okay. Okay.
Thank you
So
very much.
thank you, Stacy. Okay, let's see here. Rebecca, we got time this hour. Let's go into another caller.
All right, well, let's go to a question that came in from Michael, Dr. Wallach. Michael says, "Dear Dr. Wallach, I have been listening to you for years and using many of your recommendations regarding supplements for various ailments over the years. I have suffered with ocular migraines for over 35 years on the average of one episode every 3 months, initially triggered mostly by bright sunlight. Over the last 4 months, the episodes have become more frequent at about once every 2 to 3 weeks, but usually milder and of shorter duration than the previous ones. I've been under a lot of stress lately, but certainly foods such as dark chocolate may be playing a role. Apparently, the CGR peptide, I'm not sure what that is, you might, seems to be the cause of these episodes, according to some articles. Any suggestions on cause and natural treatment options, Dr. Wallach?" Now, I love the fact that he asked for cause, because you can put a Band-Aid on something and not address the cause, and you're really not taking care of the issue.
Okay, well, migraines are these terrible headaches, behind your eyes, in your head kind of stuff. And they're caused by a squeezing of the fifth cranial nerve, the trigeminal nerve, okay? And it's called trigeminal neuralgia, okay, kind of thing. But migraines are the street name for it, okay? And this is caused by osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the fifth cranial nerve, okay? I guarantee you he's got tinnitus, ringing in the ears. He may have trouble swallowing because the glossopharyngeal nerve, the ninth cranial nerve being squeezed, and so on. And it's one of those things where I see this literally 1,000 times a day all over the world, 80 different countries. People call me by the hundreds every day with these problems. Okay, osteoporosis of the skull. That's why we have the book. It's all in your head. Okay. And you and I are coming out with this CD that's going to go along with this book by the same title. It's all in your head. So the CD is remarkable. We listened to it last night. It's just, I think it's really one of the great major jumps forward in our healthcare regimens is that CD, because it's something you listen to when you're driving your car. You can listen to it on a computer with a whole family listening at the same time. You can discuss it. But he didn't people don't give me their weight, how old they are, how tall they are, what other diseases they have. And, they expect me to give them all this information. Well, it just so happens that I know a lot about migraines because they're a manifestation of the fifth cranial nerve being squeezed. There's 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and they don't actually get squeezed at the same rate on right side and left side. So you can have more migraine and headache on the right side and than the left side, or more on the left side than the right side. Sometimes it's equal, but rarely is it equal. Okay. And so per 100 pounds of body weight, that's all I can do here. Per 100 pounds of body weight, I want to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And then that's 1 healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. And to an adult man, I would suspect he's going to have to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I also want him to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So he can take 3 of those at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they are sources of collagen, okay, and minerals to help rebuild connective tissue, okay? And of course, we're talking about everything from bones and joints and cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue and the walls of arteries and veins and skin and so on, okay? Then I want them to have the collagen peptides. Take a scoop of that in your morning drink and a scoop of that in your evening drink, Michael, okay? And then that deals with the immune system, the bone marrow, the bone matrix, also tendons and ligaments and cartilage. Vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. Again, I'm kind of shooting for 200 pounds here. Anything over 150 pounds I go for 200 pounds. And then, let's see here. Also, for the pain and inflammation, I like the BTT 2.0 tablets and our killer biotic. A killer biotic is a collection of mushrooms, including the reishi mushroom, which are legendary for supporting the immune system and anti-inflammatory. Take 3 of those twice a day. And then the BTT 2.0 tablets, they're not the same as the powder. BTT 2.0 powder is the essential minerals, okay, in powder form, and vitamins and amino acids in powder form, whereas the tablet, again, is designed to support the immune system and is anti-inflammatory. And so you can take 3 of those twice a day. I do that just because I'm 83 years old. So I take 3 of the killer biotic twice a day, and I take 3 of the BTT 2.0 tablets twice a day, in addition to all my healthy brain and heart packs and MSM and collagen peptides and vitamin D3 and so on. So he needs to contact us live, and at any rate, he can get started here. He will pay wholesale prices for the products. He gets on auto ship. I will pay the shipping. Doesn't get any better than that. And so I'm always very excited about being able to help people with simple problems. If you go to a doctor, they're going to put you on drugs, which may mask the symptoms for a while, but the disease keeps getting worse and worse and worse. You wind up, instead of having 1 or 2 manifestations of osteoporosis of the skull, within 6 months to 2 years, you'll have 20 manifestations of osteoporosis of the skull. Okay. And so it's one of those things where get on it, Michael. Okay. Because this is totally reversible stuff. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. One product that I added that helped a lot, in addition to what you mentioned, is stress.
Oh, de-stress.
Yep. 2 twice a day. I love de-stress.
Yeah. Well, de-stress is great. And it gives the brain a lot of stuff that it needs for just daily metabolism, but also is designed for people with congestive heart failure. Take 3 of those twice a day and get rid of all the bad foods, including gluten and everything, so you can absorb this stuff. Take your healthy brain and heart pack, add the de-stress to it, add the synaptive to it, and congestive heart failure goes away. Okay, you don't need surgery and that kind of stuff for congestive heart failure. You don't need valve replacements and all this kind of stuff. You know, give us a couple of weeks and you'll say, oh my gosh, and see what the doctor says. Okay, the doctor said, well, okay, yeah, you don't need the surgery now, but please don't come back here anymore, because he doesn't want you sitting in the waiting room telling your story to all the other people.
There you go. Dr. Wallach, we're coming up here on time for a break. We've got a few minutes, but I do want to make a public service announcement, everybody. We appreciate all of you being on, and we love seeing your smiling faces with your cameras on. But there are a few people that we've had to turn your cameras off because you don't quite have the appropriate attire for public appearance. So please, when you're joining us, make sure that you have clothes on. We want to see your shining faces and not the moon. So everybody, and you know, there might be some people that don't even think about it, don't even realize when you jump on a Zoom that your camera is automatically on unless you say to turn it
off. You're showing off to 100,000 people.
You know, we want to keep this as a family appropriate, clean program that everybody can enjoy, Dr. Wallach, because
thank you.
You're a family man.
That's true.
You've been helping families around the world for how many years now?
75 years.
75 years, folks. Since he was just a boy.
Yep. I started helping people. It's kind of interesting. The church, they noticed that I wasn't this mean, disruptive kid on Sunday mornings anymore. I'm helping people up steps and I'm doing all that kind of stuff. And they're watching me and couldn't figure out why I had changed so much. And finally, after a couple of months, I had one little old lady come up to me and said, I hear you can cure diabetes. And I said, ma'am, I'm only 9 years old. I don't even know what diabetes is. But I realized that people were recognizing that I had changed. I had changed dramatically, okay, from somebody who's disruptive and so forth. And I figured that out on my own because they forced me to. 20 doctors, my parents, and our family doctor had sent me to 20 different pediatricians who dealt with kids with behavioral problems, 20 different doctors over a 5-year period. And I only got worse and worse and worse and worse. And they give me talk therapy and all that kind of stuff. I refused to take their drugs. Okay. But when I was 9 years old, they were going to put me in an asylum of some kind. And I didn't like the sounds of that. And so while I'm sitting there on Friday night, my parents are packing my bags. 20 doctors had failed. They're going to take me on Monday to this institution. And I had asked them, well, how long am I going to be in there? And they said, well, maybe for the rest of your life, because until they figure out what you got. Well, that didn't sound good to a 9-year-old. So on Saturday morning, okay, I go out to the barn and I got the alfalfa pellets, okay, that had been fortified with vitamins and minerals. And I threw out the Cheerios and the Wheaties to the chickens and put those alfalfa pellets in my cereal bowl, put milk on them. So I had the alfalfa pellets on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning. And by Monday afternoon, I was cured after 5 years of disruption. Wow. And 20 doctors couldn't figure it out. And so I knew when I was 9 years old that there was something in those vitamins and minerals that I was missing, causing my behavioral problems. I was only 9 years old. So that's when I figured it out and I'd start going and looking up diabetes and looking up high blood pressure and looking up arthritis. And I'm saying, boy, they were missing a lot here. Why are they missing it so badly? These are doctors. They should know this stuff. And so I was seeing a stream of church people coming to me constantly when I'm only 9 years old because I was healing them.
Wow. And Dr. Wallach, it's not that hard, is it?
No, it's difficult. And of course, the first book, Let's Play Doctor, of course, for public stuff, is written in kind of like the 6th grade reading level. And then, of course, my thesis, because people say, well, why did you get that $25 million grant? You're just a dumb kid. Okay, well, that's because I ran into the first mass die-off from pollution in America, okay, as a student in veterinary school. Okay, and I was working my way through veterinary school by working in the pathology department. It was December. Let's see here. It was December of, I'll be done in 2 minutes here. December of, let's see here. 1963. They were off on Christmas holiday, and I'm doing the autopsy myself. And this farmer comes in with 50 dead lambs, and he said, I had 500 dead this morning. What? 500 dead? He said, yeah, last night I fed them and they were all good. They were all good. And, lammies, and they were doing their bad stuff and running around, hopping in the feed bunks and chasing each other around. And I fed them like I always do. And in a couple of weeks, they're going to go to slaughter. I was feeling kind of bad about that. This morning, I went up to feed them again and all 500 were dead. Okay. And so I asked him, well, what fertilizer do you use? Well, I don't. I just buy everything from my neighbors who fertilize, and they use. And so he cut these lambs open, and their blood was bright cherry red, which means they were getting nitrates. And so he did find out that this guy was using like 10 times more nitrates than he should have because he wanted to sell more tons and bushels per acre. Okay, and it was flowing into the pond that these lambs were getting their water. So why did they all die in one night instead of one died tonight and then 2 weeks later another 2 die and kind of stuff? So why did they all die in one night? Well, I checked the weather system, and sure enough, the temperature had dropped. And this is central Missouri. In the wintertime, it can be 50, 60 degrees in central Missouri. But then at night, the temperature dropped to 16, and they all died of hypothermia. Okay, and I got it published in 1965 when I went to Africa. Just as I was leaving for Africa, it got published in veterinary journals. And when I was there for 2 years working on the White Rhino Project, Marlon Perkins used that paper to get a $25 million grant from NIH. They called me back to be the pathologist on the subject because they used my papers to get that $25 million grant. And I was only, I think, 18 years old.
Wow. And that just is a great reminder, Dr. Wallach. Plants, they need 3 nutrients. Mammals, we need 90. We cannot thrive or even survive if we don't get what the body actually needs.
Yes, and those
And
nutritional minerals occur in veins like gold and silver, so they don't occur uniformly all over the earth. So you do have to take them as essential factors.
And intentionally. And, you know, as your research has found, you've discovered what the body needs based on looking at, okay, what's missing, and that disease that's associated with what is missing.
That is correct. You get an A+ here.
And that's where you came up with, is it over 600 different diseases that are directly linked to nutrient deficiencies?
You got it. You got an A++.
So folks, you know, it's not difficult when you hear it. It's like, oh, wow, why didn't I think of that? That makes so much sense. But unless you hear it, you don't know. And that's why this program is being brought to you to share with others. Feel free to share this with others. AskDocLive.com. You will have all of our replays. Critical Health News YouTube page. We have all of our replays. That makes it so easy to be able to share this information with others. And I think it's Rumble also. We're also on Rumble. Is that correct, John T? For Critical Health News. So
The Critical Health News YouTube channel is you can find everything there. I mean, I'll go to AskDocLive.com and keep it simple.
we'll keep it simple. Health is simple. Let's
Yeah.
just keep that simple too. Thanks, John T. See, you're the best. Well, everybody, let's go ahead and take a break. So get up and stretch, move around, get some movement. We will be right back with Ask Doc Live. And again, if somebody shared this program with you, please get back with them and say, hey, thanks for sharing that information with me. I learned some things that I hadn't thought of before, and I want to get on a program. Can you help me? If they specifically can't help you, I'm sure they know somebody that can. And if you were not referred to this program by anybody specific or through any type of communications, then feel free to go to AskDocLive.com. We have a store there. We have the most popular books by Dr. Joel Wallach. And we also have a Contact Us, where you can get in contact with a certified holistic health coach that can help you find the best protocol to meet your specific needs. We will be right back with Ask Doc Live. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us as Dr. Wallach is getting back on. There he is. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Doc. And we're going to go to the next hand that is up. Perfect.
All right.
And the next hand we have with us, Deborah. Deborah, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Doc. Hi,
Hello,
Doc.
Deborah. How can we help you?
I have some clients, and two things are coming up that I would like some input on. One is those that are adamant about being a vegan and what we need to do to support them. And then the other is this chronic hydrotherapy, where they're flushing the colon with water.
Okay. Well, vegans are in trouble, especially if they eat gluten. Okay. Plants cannot manufacture minerals. Plants require 3 minerals. We require 60. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blank around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. Okay. So you can have plants that look very nice, okay, but only have 3 nutrients in them. Okay, so being a vegan is not good. Now, being a vegan back 1,000 years ago was okay, maybe in some places, not all places, but in some places it was okay, because they used wood ashes, which were minerals that were left when you burnt the wood in the wood stoves and the fireplaces and the fire pits. They used the wood ashes for fertilizer. My grandma used to put wood ashes until we were 9 years old. We didn't have electricity. So we had wood ashes in our soup and our stew. And our sweet potatoes, we had wood ashes in just about everything. And we were getting minerals that way. Whatever minerals were in the soil, we got the wood and the coal from. Okay. And so we put the ashes in our food and in our gardens. And I'm only 4 or 5 years old, and my job was to put the wood ashes in between the rows of onions and tomatoes and squash and stuff like that in our gardens every day from our wood stoves and fireplaces. But then when I was 9 years old, we went to electricity. We didn't have that anymore. I said, yay, I didn't have to do that anymore. Okay. And so that's very, very bad. Okay. You have to take the essential factors. Okay. These things are not a choice. And so that's why you don't see vegans living to be 120. I'm going to have to find out what the average lifespan of a drop dead vegan, somebody who's been a vegan all their life, what's their average life expectancy of a vegan compared to, somebody who's taking the essential factors every day to make sure they get everything. Okay. So that's my thing on a vegan. If you want to be a vegan, you better be taking your 90 essential nutrients. I mean, big time. Okay. And this is why we have the collagen peptides. This is why we have the MSM. This is why we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack has 215 nutrients in it, including the 90 essentials. And so if you want to be a successful vegan, you don't want to eat big bloody piece of red meat steak and ribs and all that kind of stuff and chickens and things, don't do it. But you do have to eat eggs, okay, because you need the cholesterol for your brain. Otherwise, you're going to get MS, okay? You're going to wind up with all kinds of terrible diseases if you don't eat those eggs. But you think about it, an egg, you incubate it for 26 days and a chick pecks out of it. Now that egg, that chick started out is a little 1 millimeter diameter flat disc on top of the yolk. That's that little white spot on top of the yolk. That's the chick. And incubating for 26 days, that little white spot hatches. It comes out. It's got a beating heart and all the blood vessels everywhere. It's got lungs. It's got liver, kidneys. It has a digestive system. It has a brain and eyes. It has muscles and bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons. It has a digestive system. All from that one little white spot, because all the nutrition is in that yolk and the white of the egg. Just think of how much nutrition is in that egg to create that live chick from that little white spot. Okay, this is one of the good Lord's miracles. And the same thing is true for not only chickens, but also for ducks and geese and ostriches and wombats and mongooses, everything that lays eggs, okay? Whether they're a mammal or a bird of some kind, or even a reptile, okay? Amphibians, they lay eggs too. And then hydrotherapy, you're drinking a lot of water, that's fine as long as you're taking your essential factors, okay? But don't think, see, the reason why people used to do hydrotherapy and they'd go get enemas once a week or something like that from some hydrotherapist and so on, because they're eating gluten and they're constipated, their villi are dead in their intestines, they're losing 90% of their absorptive surface. And let's look at people who get hydrotherapy. How long do they live? That's the ultimate question you have to ask. Okay, let's get a hydrotherapist on here and say, okay, what's the average lifespan of a patient who's come to you or a client who's come to you? They don't even have any diseases, but they're doing hydrotherapy. And do they come to you for 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? I don't know. Hydrotherapists, their average lifespan is only 55. Well, that's not a good signal. Okay. And so many of these things came into play because of people who ate meat got diseases that were found in cows and sheep and so forth. Okay, so they didn't want to get those diseases, so they started just eating vegetables. They weren't eating cows that are dying of the plague or something like that. Okay, same with hydrotherapy. The odds are it started because people were having gluten problems. They were constipated and they need to have an enema, twice a week or 3 times a week or every day Otherwise, they'd be 25 pounds overweight with bowel movements piling up in their intestines and so forth because of the gluten. There's reasons why people came up with those procedures, and habits, but doesn't mean it was right. Okay. And so it's one of those things where if you know why they are doing them, do you need to do them? Okay. If it's doing it for religious reasons, that's a different story. But still, if you're fasting and doing hydrotherapy and being a vegan for religious reasons, you better be taking your essential factors, big time. Otherwise, you're going to be a bad example because you're not going to live as long as people who are not. Okay, so I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it does. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Deborah, did you have another question?
No, that was both of them. The
Okay,
vegan and the colonic. Colonic. There we go.
awesome. Thank you so much. Now, Dr. Wallach, let's just go
Yes.
ahead and move on to our next hand that is up. Terry,
Okay,
go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, didn't get that name. Terry, was it
Terry.
Terry?
Terry.
Terry,
Terry,
Can you-
okay, with a T. Okay, Terry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hi, good morning.
hi. So how can I help you?
I'm calling concerning my son who is on medication for mental deficits. And basically he hears voices. So I would say he's depressed with schizophrenia. And I was wondering what kind of supplements he could take to help his situation.
Okay, how old is he?
31,
Okay, and how much does he weigh? Do you know about?
about 250,
Okay, how tall is he?
6'2".
Okay. Does he have any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, back problems, anything like that?
He has a back problem because he got in a motorcycle accident,
Okay.
2 vertebrae.
I'm sorry, you broke up there. Say that again about his vertebrae?
He broke his L2 vertebrae.
Okay, okay. All right. Now, you have to appreciate that your brain requires 90 essential nutrients. Okay? And
Okay.
so the first thing you have to do is get rid of any interference. And somebody who's 6'2", okay, 6'2", I'd like him to weigh, he could weigh 180 to 200 pounds. So he might be maybe 30 pounds overweight kind of thing, 30, 40 pounds overweight, okay? So I want him to get one of the keto shakes meals per day. Okay, now these are not to add to a meal, these are a meal replacer, okay? And he can have 2 of the rebound drinks with that keto shake that come in strawberry and chocolate. All right, and he'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And then also at 250 pounds, I want him to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Now let me go back up here. He needs to get rid of all the bad foods again. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And I apologize for having to go through those again, but this is for all of our listeners, as
Yeah,
well as.
you on coast to coast. So I've
Yeah,
heard this.
okay. Okay, you've heard the story before.
Yeah.
Okay, then he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. Okay, then he also has 215 nutrients in the healthy brain and heart pack, 215 nutrients, including the 90 essentials that everybody agrees upon. Then he needs 2 bottles a month of our MSM. He can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, and they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone, makes bone itself. He also needs to take 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. Fried eggs won't count. Hard-boiled eggs don't count. They're going to be soft yolks, okay, soft boiled, soft yolk, soft poached, soft yolk, soft scrambled in butter. That's how I have mine. I had my 3 this morning, okay, with rice. And I had tuna, okay, from Alaska with my breakfast. And my eggs with soft yolks and so forth. And then I had, of course, all of my products and so forth. And, that's kind of my sort of system. Sometimes I'll have tuna. Sometimes I'll have salmon. Sometimes I'll have a hamburger. Sometimes I'll have a steak for breakfast kind of stuff. Okay, along with my other things that I have every day. So it's not so boring, but you have to do that. And then he'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. because when you gain weight, it's because you're missing things and you develop a behavior called pica. You just want to eat and eat and eat and snack and
Well,
so forth.
The medication causes them to gain weight.
Yeah, well, that goes along with that. Yep.
Yeah.
And so also the brain requires some stuff here very specifically. So I'd have them take our Synaptive, get 2 bottles a month of our Synaptive, Synaptive, Synaptive. Take 3 of those, okay, twice a day. There's 2 bottles a month of Synaptive. That gives the brain cells the nutrients they require to make the biochemistry to talk to their next door neighbors,
Okay.
brain cells, okay? So between the eggs and the cholesterol, you want the cholesterol, okay? Do not take statin drugs. Cannot take statin drugs to lower cholesterol.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do that. And let's see here. So the Synaptive would be a good one. Let's go here. Let's go there, and then call us every couple of weeks, because I've seen people really, they've been institutionalized, just like I was going to be institutionalized when I was 9 years old. And I healed myself in 3 days, just getting off the bad stuff and, eating the animal foods with the vitamins and minerals in it. That's how I figured it out when I was 9.
All right.
Okay. And so I had very similar problems, but I was, in addition to having mental issues and not doing real well in school, but I was very violent and aggressive. And if somebody would even smile at me, I'd beat them up. So, okay.
Wow.
So I know what your son is going through.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So do call us, because he's going to have a great story.
Now I have one more question.
Sure.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. I'm clear now. Caught it early, but I'm on an estrogen blocker. And I can't have boron in my supplements according to the nutritionist.
I'm sorry, you can't have what?
Boron, B-O-R.
Okay. Okay.
And so I was wondering what you would recommend for keeping my bones strong, because I know with a estrogen blocker, it can affect my bones and joints.
Yes. Okay. That's a difficult one. What I would do is get a hair analysis, get our book, Rare Earths and Cures, get a hair analysis, and let's see where your boron is at. Okay.
Okay.
Because when you have a multiple nutrient program, like our plant minerals, has 78 minerals in there, including boron. How do you get boron out of there with 78 minerals?
Yeah.
And so let's see what your boron level is in your hair. If it's in the normal range or low, then we're not going to worry about it. If it's extremely high.
Ask my doctor for a hair analysis?
No, because he doesn't know. He's going to just say, nah, we'll take a blood sample.
Right.
No. These labs, get the book, chapter 10 tells you how to cut the hair, how to box it up, where to ship it. Don't forget to put it gives you how much, a check, and they will, within 2 weeks, you get 2 things back. You get a chart on all your nutritional minerals, including boron. Okay. And they should be kind of, like this, kind of a little bit all over the place. But if they're all low, if they're all below the bottom line, that means you're not absorbing.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't need to ask the doctor to interpret it.
All
okay.
right.
That is, it tells you in the book.
Okay.
Rare earths and here's how to interpret it. And then it has a separate chart for toxic minerals like lead and mercury and uranium and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay. Because boron is a required nutrient. It's kind of like saying no more iron for you. No more iron for you. Okay. I'm being a smart aleck there. I mean, that's how stupid it is. No more iron for you. Well, it's an essential nutrient. What do you mean no more iron?
Yeah, I get you. Right.
Okay. But when doctors don't know things, and obviously they did a good job, they helped you because, you're in remission at least. Okay. And so that's a good thing. So we have to thank them for putting you in remission. But, and so you can say, yeah, I'm checking out my boron levels. Okay. And when I get the charts back from the lab, I'll email you a copy.
Okay.
Educate them a little bit.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then call us when you get all your materials back. Okay. Again, that book, you can go to, let's see here. Miss Rebecca can tell you how to get that book, Rare Earths and Cures. How would they get the book, Miss Rebecca?
Yes, we have it on AskDocLive.com. We have a tab just for you, Dr. Wallach, and your publications. So,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
perfect.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Wallach, we have a couple questions in the chat.
Okay.
And Marie wants to know, what do you think about phytates?
Okay. Phytates block absorption. Okay.
And what foods have phytates in them? Which ones should we limit? Or
Okay.
when?
Okay. Well,
Okay.
phytates are found in high fiber vegetation. Okay. High fiber vegetation is where you find phytates. Okay. And so it's one of those things where, this is one of the things that vegans will suffer from because all they eat is vegetables. Okay. And grains. And so you'll find phytates in the bran and grains and stuff like that. That's in addition to the gluten. Okay. So you want to stay away from the high fiber plant materials. Okay.
So with that, whenever, if you're taking or eating something that does have phytates, would you recommend having maybe 2 hours before or after taking your supplements, just to prevent any type of hindrance there?
No, when people eat phytates every day, I want them to go shopping for a coffin because they're going to need one early.
All right. I don't think you can be any plainer than that, Doc. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
it's one of those. It's one of those things where you don't want to say, "Well, you can eat a little bit of poison,"
That makes total sense. So you heard it from the good doctor, folks. Let's stay away from phytates. And you can always do a Google and see what foods are high in phytates, because they are preventing the absorption of needed minerals that your body has to have in order to thrive. Now, just a reminder, if you are on with us live, go ahead and find that option to raise your hand. And you can ask Dr. Wallach questions. And I have some questions here in the chat, and I have
Okay.
emailed questions in that we're going to be getting to also. And Dr. Wallach, everything is absolutely fine. So I know that you're worried about background noise, and we can't
Yeah.
hear it. So,
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about the background movement.
no,
and
we
everything.
can't hear it. We can't hear any background noise.
Okay. Okay.
All is good. So item A is writing in, and she's writing in regards to, or on behalf of her sister. Her sister is 5'3", 120 pounds, 80 years young, recently diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. She had a tumor removed from her colon last August, along with her appendix and about 5 inches of colon on either side, just to be sure. I love that, just to be sure. No. And a few lymph nodes for biopsies. There was no sign of any more cancer. So she and surgeon thought they had gotten it all. Now there's another tumor on the rectal muscle and several nodes on the inside of the abdominal lining. Surgery not highly recommended. Now, Dr. Wallach, you found that when certain nutrients are missing, disease and breakdown occur. Share with us what you would recommend for nutritional supplements for item A, sister.
Okay. Well, it's one of those things where cancer is just a second here. There's so much movement in the background. I need some quiet here.
So, like I said, Dr. Wallach, we can't hear. So go ahead. That's one nice thing about your headset. It only gets you.
Okay. But I'm seeing all this movement on the screen. Okay. And so anyway, yeah, they need to stay away from all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And it's one of those things where you know, people don't realize it. They say, well, you know, I'm just eating gluten one meal a week. Or, well, it's just like shooting yourself in the head one day a week. Okay, don't do that. Okay, because it doesn't take much to interfere with normal physiology. It doesn't take much to interfere with normal physiology. Just think a gluten makes all those villi disappear. So you cannot absorb nutrition, which is required for your immune system to defend you against cancer, defend you against viruses, COVID-19 and so forth. And you think you're well, you know, I only eat pancakes twice a week. I only have spaghetti Wednesday nights after church. And so again, I can't stress it enough that you can't toy with this. You say, okay, this gal here is 80 years old, which is very good because 75 is the average life expectancy in the United States now. So is she gonna live to be 100? Maybe, okay, maybe, but I think she would live a lot longer and she'd be a lot more comfortable and not have to have surgeries and all this kind of stuff, which is risky in somebody of her age. And it's one of those things where you have to appreciate that it's one of those things where the importance of consistency of good stuff flowing in and the absence of bad stuff. Okay. And the more you can eliminate the bad stuff and the more you can do the good stuff, the more likely you are to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. And if it isn't important to spend those 25 to 50 healthy years with the people you love, then go ahead and eat fried eggs for breakfast. Go ahead and have spaghetti every Wednesday night. Go ahead and have waffles for breakfast. Go ahead and have flour tortillas for lunch. You know, but they're so good. Well, okay, just, you know, enjoy yourself because you're going to cut 25 to 50 healthy years off your life. People say, well, oh, hey, she died so young. She died at 62. Well, that's totally unnecessary because the good Lord, you know, even in the Old Testament, they said, and man's years shall be 120. Okay, so this is not difficult. It's just a choice. People make a choice. Do you just put dirt from Texas in your car and hope there's oil in it? Come on, it's dirt from Texas. There's bound to be some oil in it. Why should I pay $3 a quart for oil? You wouldn't do that to your car. So why do you do that to yourself? If you take care of yourself as good as you take care of your car, you can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. It is not difficult, but you do have to be persistent, consistent, and say, you know, I apologize. I just don't go to those places. So you guys have fun, but I'm going to stay home and I'm going to have, you know, I make my own salad. I'm going to have some Alaska tuna packed in water, and I'm going to, for dessert, I'm going to have some gluten-free ice cream. And I'm going to have a glass of red wine, which is made from grapes and berries. I'm not going to have beer made from wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Okay. And so, you know, you can kind of try to educate them backhandedly. So just say what you're doing. And they'll say, you know, Grandma Rebecca here, she's 120 years old and she's still out there playing tennis. Okay. How does she do that? Oh, it must be the good genes in her family. No, it's how, how Grandma Rebecca is doing all the good stuff. That's what happens here. You have to do the good stuff only. Don't even say, I don't even like to talk about the bad stuff. Okay, because when you talk about it, people say, well, there's room for, some other opinions. Well, that's true. It's true. You can either believe in God or not. You can either believe in going the speed limit or not. Okay, you can believe in having all your 90 essential nutrients or not, and see who wins at the end of the game. So I think that's the best answer I can give for that one.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. How about deprivation chambers? We've had a question in regards to a deprivation chamber, and is that beneficial? Do you know?
Okay, I'm assuming that this is somebody who is very sensitive to light and to noise and to crowds and all this kind of stuff. And so they respond to what's going on in the environment. And so their neurologists put them in these chambers for an hour a day or whatever to get a quiet time.
And PTSD is a specific condition that this person is concerned with.
Okay, PTSD,
Yeah,
post-traumatic stress syndrome, okay, kind of thing.
that is correct.
Okay, yeah, they may have had a loss, a terrible loss in a family, in a car wreck or suicide or something like that. And they may be, looking in the mirror and saying, was I responsible for that? Okay, military, okay, all those kind of things. And so, I spent 27 years in the military, and I saw everything. 7 years in the artillery, Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, 105s, 155 howitzers, went all over the world, primarily Europe, training our boys and girls in our forts all around the world, particularly Europe. And then I spent 20 years in the Air Force, primarily in the Pacific and all the Asian countries, including Hawaii. Okay, and we still have a great connection with the Philippines and Australia and New Zealand, Hawaii, of course. Let's see here, Taiwan. We're working with Korea, Hong Kong, China, Japan. And so, I've seen it all. I retired as lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. So you can imagine me being all over the place, all over the world, with every kind of weapon and food and diet and environment you can see in the world. I've been exposed to that. And so it's one of those things where I've seen everything you can see, and I've seen every result. Okay. And so it's uniform. The point that I'm getting at, it's uniform, it's predictable. It's predictable that if you do everything right, you're going to maximize your health, the quality of your life, and the length of your life. If you don't pay attention to details, and you're going out every Wednesday night and every Friday night and drinking beer with the boys and girls, and not paying attention to what you're drinking, okay, and you're getting all that gluten in your beer and your spaghetti and whatever else you're eating, or flour tortillas, whatever you're eating. And so you just had a great time, but then you die at 58. And so are you prepared to give up 50 years of your life because you have fun on Friday night having beer with the boys? That's everybody's option. And so most of these doctors who are involved with these sort of issues, they really don't tell these folks why they got this way. They just say, well, this is what you got, and here's our treatment. And they do get some temporary relief of their concerns when you do all these weird things. And so the patient is happy until they die at 58.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to the next hand that is up. Sarita, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, Sarita,
Okay,
how can we help you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi.
Everybody. Hi. Okay, so I'm working with a gentleman right now, and actually he's a chiropractor, and he has a bulging disc. So I'm getting him introduced to the product. So he just filled it out his health evaluation. So a bulging disc he said he got it when he was playing sports. So he does sometimes have a lot of pain. So what would you suggest for him?
Okay, do you know how much he weighs and how old is he?
Yeah, let me pull up his report real quick. He weighs weighs 220. He's 6'1", 33 years old.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, even chiropractors have bones and cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue.
Mm-hmm.
And even chiropractors have to take the 90 essential nutrients if they're going to maximize the longevity and benefit and health and function of all their body parts, including the disc. Okay.
Right.
Just taking an adjustment is not going to solve the problem. An adjustment will not solve a vitamin D3 deficiency. An adjustment will not solve a calcium deficiency. An adjustment will not solve collagen peptide deficiency, and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
So at 200, okay, so at 200 pounds, Okay, this guy
Mhm.
needs to get rid of all his bad foods: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go because the carbonation in the diet drinks neutralize stomach acid, which is required to absorb minerals and digest food. And even chiropractors will benefit from a program. Okay.
Yes.
And so he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want him to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance, repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. And we're only going to charge him wholesale. If he gets on auto ship, we'll pay the shipping for him. Okay.
Right.
Then he needs a collagen
Mhm.
peptides, a scoop of that collagen peptides in his morning drink and a scoop of collagen peptides in his evening drink. Okay. That'll support his immune system and his bone marrow and the connective tissue in his skin, his tendons and ligaments, connective tissue, his disc, arteries and veins and so forth. He also needs vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. And let's see here. If he has stuff going on, if he's got things, like pain and numbness and tingling and stuff down his legs, to where he's obviously got some, because of this disc issue, he's getting a sciatic nerve squeeze, he's got peripheral neuropathies and so forth. He should also take our Synaptive, take 3 of those twice a day, and that'll help his brain and nerve cells do their jobs better. All right. And
Okay.
I'm trying to think here. For pain, topically, we have our CM cream. You can apply the CM cream topically to any place that hurts. It'll give him about 2 hours of pain relief. We also have our, our Hemp FX, our Soothe.
Right.
Okay, that can be placed topically, and it'll give you about 4 hours of pain relief. So I like to use the CM cream during the day, and then a half hour before bedtime, use the Soothe from our Hemp FX, and that will, really, really resolve the pain issue. And within anywhere from 2 to 6 to 8 weeks, all this issue should be resolved. And so the question comes, how long should this chiropractor be taking our program with all these nutrients? Oh, he should be taking it for the rest of his life. How long does this chiropractor need oxygen? How long does a chiropractor need water? How long does a chiropractor need protein? And so a lot of people, including healers, whether they're chiropractors or naturopathic doctors or medical doctors or DOs or nurses, okay, physical therapists, they misbelieve, okay, because they say, okay, well, you're okay now, you can stop taking your nutritional program. You run out, you don't need art anymore. Well, then within 3 months' time, they're back down the hole. Yeah, well, that didn't work. I'm back here now because my problem's back. It's 10 times worse now than it was. Okay. Well, that's because you're acting like you were acting when you're doing okay, and you're not getting the nutrients anymore. And so it's kind of like running on a flat tire. What's going to happen after about 5 miles of running on a flat tire? Well, that metal wheel is going to chew that tire up, and you're not going to be able to use it anymore. When you get a flat tire, you need to change to the spare tire immediately. That way you can repair that tire. Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it. All right.
Yeah, don't
Thank
forget
you so much.
don't forget the antifreeze. Don't forget the oil. Don't forget the gasoline. Don't forget the heavy grease. Okay, the car requires a lot of stuff.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Wallach.
Yeah, well, let's have this chiropractor. Let's have him be an example. And as he goes along here, get him on this show with us. We'd like to answer his questions and educate him so he can carry on this. You sponsor him in your organization, okay? And let's get going with this guy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm dripping him along, so that's the plan.
Okay, very good. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Awesome, Sarita. Thank you so much. Great questions.
Yeah.
Dr. Wallach, we have another question. This one's coming from Nasima, one of our amazing co-hosts. So Nasima's first question, just two, is in regards to deep vein thrombosis. Is it the same as arterial sclerosis?
No. Okay,
Okay,
deep
well,
vein
she has-
thrombosis. Deep vein
Go ahead.
thrombosis is caused by a very specific nutritional deficiency. Okay, thrombosis is a blood clot.
Mhm.
When you have plaque in your arteries, that's scar tissue lining the inside lining of the arteries, okay? And doctors mistakenly said it was caused by cholesterol. No, it's caused by eating heated oils like fried foods and that kind of stuff and salad dressings and so on. And your body responds to that inflammation caused by those oils by putting connective tissue in places that are irritated. Well, your blood vessels are irritated by those oils, oxidizing and turning into trans fats, heterocyclamines, and acrylamides. And they made a mistake thinking that it was, and professing that it was cholesterol. And so, boy, all the pharmaceutical companies came out with statin drugs to lower cholesterol. We're going to save the world from plaque in the artery. They came out with statin drugs. And in 1960, they got a new disease as a result of this cholesterol lowering drugs. Okay. Oh, it's called Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is caused by a cholesterol deficiency. Your brain has a significant amount of cholesterol. And of course, we talked about this at the beginning tonight, or this afternoon, or this morning, wherever you're at in the world. This is MS, okay, and all kinds of memory problems. But then now we come up with Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is caused by statin drugs. 1960, there was no such thing as Alzheimer's disease until the statin drugs were put on the market. And doctors went crazy, giving everybody, including embryos, statin drugs. and so it's one of those things where it was a big error on the backs and necks and heads and responsibilities of the medical system. Okay, because the plaque in the arteries was not caused by cholesterol. When they came out with the statin drugs to lower cholesterol, they created a whole new version of disease called Alzheimer's disease. And it's kind of a variation on, it's all in your head, and it's a variation on also, let's see here, MSM, MS, multiple sclerosis, there you go, multiple sclerosis, where you lose the white matter of the brain because you're not taking in cholesterol, because you're taking statin drugs. And so a lot of this is, when I say self-inflicted, I mean in humanity, if you're eating rabbits and squirrels and fish and beef and chickens and liver and all that kind of stuff every week, then you're not going to have these diseases. But when you're avoiding those things, because doctors say, oh, they have cholesterol and you can't don't eat liver. Don't do that. Okay, well, liver is one of your best foods. It has 40 nutrients in it. And before the days of vitamin mineral tablets and capsules and pills and drinks, the liver was the best source of vitamins and minerals, because that's where your body stores them, in the liver. And so, I used to fight to get the chicken livers, okay, when we would kill our chickens and eat them. Everybody else, you eat the drumstick, I just want the livers. Okay. And so that helps a lot.
Well, Dr. Wallach, if somebody has blood clots, say a gentleman, 30 years old, 5'10", 200 pounds, he's on blood thinners, what would you recommend supplement-wise in order to address blood clots that are in one leg, but not both?
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's in one leg or both legs. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's in one of your internal veins or arteries in your brain and your coronary arteries or coronary veins and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. We get in a blood clot. It's all due to the same thing. This is a nutritional deficiency. Blood clots are caused by nutritional deficiency. The good Lord gave us everything we needed to prevent blood clots in our food, but you have to eat the food. Okay, you can't fry it and that kind of stuff. And so, and if you don't want to eat liver, just take more of our essential factors, okay? And that's why we have the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 215 nutrients, and it contains the nutrients that will prevent and reverse blood clots. People say, well, which one is it? Which one is it? And I used to tell people which one it was. And they'd run to the grocery store and they'd buy that one nutrient, they'd take it, and then they would die from hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease. which is not due to blood clots, due to a mineral deficiency. But if they would take the 90 or take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which is 215, then they wouldn't have either of those issues. Okay. And so I learned that if you want to get that information, that's why we have the book Rare and Cures. That's why I have the book Epigenetics. That's why we have the book and the CD and the DVD set, The Truth About Nutrition. We have the book It's All in Your Head. We have the book Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. We have the book Epigenetics. And right now, let's see here, Miss Rebecca and I were working on a CD that's going to go, it's going to be attached to the book It's All in Your Head. It'll be titled the same title, It's All in Your Head. It goes into MS, multiple sclerosis. It goes into these sorts of things that are caused by nutritional deficiencies, cholesterol deficiencies. But cholesterol deficiency, my doctor says cholesterol causes heart attacks. No, you need to get a different doctor. Your doctor doesn't know what he's talking about. And then they go to a different doctor and say, oh, you have the metabolic syndrome. What's the metabolic syndrome? Well, that's just something doctors made up. It's metabolic syndromes made out of, let's see here. We're looking at high blood pressure, diabetes. We're looking at heart disease. We're looking at obesity. All these things are things that you know about. We have preventions for and programs to reverse these things. But doctors call it the metabolic syndrome because the average American public, because of efforts, like what we're doing here with Rebecca and her team, okay, every Friday morning, it's one of those things where if everybody would do that, we'd eliminate like 50 different diseases, okay, or maybe more, maybe 100 different diseases. And this is not difficult. But people well, my doctor said, I just love that when they beat their chest and stand on something like Superman or Tarzan and say, my doctor says, I've got the metabolic syndrome. Well, are you bragging or complaining? But they can't call these diseases genetic anymore because we've proven they're not. They can't call them autoimmune anymore because we've proven they're not. They're simple nutritional deficiency diseases. So they came up, well, let's take a collection of these things. We'll call them the metabolic syndrome because they tend to run together. And they sound so scientific. It sounds so medical. Metabolic syndrome. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's what that's all about.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Next question is in regards to little boy, 2 years old, 9 months, weighs 30 pounds. He doesn't have any diagnoses yet because they say he's too young, but, and he's not on any medications. They're limiting his sugar because the parents feel that he may have ADHD, and has bundles of energy, struggles to sit still, talks more or less all the time from wake to sleep, trouble concentrating, switches toys and games frequently. The brain is all over the place. He's fearless. There's no concept of danger or harm. He has no social skills to play with other children and cannot tell right from wrong that most kids his age can. What should they do in regards to his diet and supplementation?
Well, they need to get a different pediatrician, okay, because this kid is super nutritionally deficient. I guarantee you he's having oatmeal for breakfast every morning, or Wheaties, breakfast of champions, or Cheerios. He's having waffles, pancakes, gluten. And he's not taking, if he is taking a supplement, it's probably vitamin C or something like that, or some baby vitamin with vitamin A and some B1 and that kind of stuff. Okay, not really getting any serious minerals. Okay, so you say he weighs 30 pounds, correct? 30 pounds, okay. I want him to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, bran, rhinos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. The diet one's got to go. I want him to have one soft scrambled egg and butter twice a day, once at breakfast, once at dinner time. Then I also want him to have rice. He needs to eat like an Asian. He can have rice for breakfast, he can have rice for lunch, he can have rice for dinner, but none of the bad stuff, not even once a year, okay? Not on Christmas, okay? Not on his birthday. No. Okay? And then he can have sweet potatoes, and he can have tomatoes and onions and cauliflower and that kind of stuff. Okay. Then I want him also to have our kids toddy. I want to have our kids toddy, and the dosage rate for him is on the back label by pound of body weight. Okay. It tastes good. It tastes like lemonade, so he's going to like it. It tastes very nice, but it's a complete liquid supplement for kids toddy. Then we want him also to have the cherry mints, use that same dosage rate, as so much, an ounce per this amount of weight, or a half ounce for this amount of weight, or a teaspoon for this amount of weight, and so forth. Is the same weight dosage schedule that's on the back of the kids toddy. Then he also needs the EFAs. I want him to have one EFA twice a day and one EFA plus twice a day. And if he's not into chewing them and swallowing them, because they're soft gel capsules with those essential fats in them, what you can do is puncture these capsules and squirt them into the kids toddy. Okay, one each of the EFA and EFA plus is breakfast and dinner. Okay, and that's going to work a lot. And let's see here. Also, wouldn't hurt for him also to have our liquid Z radical. He could also have that. And again, use that same dosage schedule of the Z radical. It has a lot of minerals from the ocean, and it's one of those things that's very kids like it, but it's a very, very useful thing when you have all these emotional things. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. The next question that's coming up, Kiri's father, God bless him. He is or retired Army pharmacist, Lieutenant Colonel, very smart, 75 years old, approximately 175 pounds. Unfortunately, he believes in prescriptions, and he has a recent diagnosis of Alzheimer's. So he says he's not sure he believes in nutrition, but will consider it, which that's a plus. That's a win that he'll consider it. So she wants to know what would she recommend? So he is vested, but medical prescriptions have failed him. So he's been on the top Alzheimer's drugs for a couple years, and due to concern of his brother and family history, he's open to try something else.
Okay, well, Alzheimer's is not a genetic thing. It's not an autoimmune thing. It can be familial because if everybody's eating the same way, and taking the same statin drugs, you got to get off of statin drugs. And he's got to eat 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks, soft boiled soft yolks, soft poached soft yolks, soft scrambled butter. That's how I have mine. I only weigh 142 pounds. Okay. And then he also needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose everything twice a day. If he's a brave lieutenant colonel, okay, then he'll be able to do that. He also needs 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they will support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. Then he needs I want him to take the collagen peptides. You can take 3 of those. No, let me back up. A scoop of the collagen peptides at breakfast in his drink, a scoop of the collagen peptides in his drink in the evening time. He also needs 3 of the vitamin D3 capsules at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. They're going to help absorb the minerals and put them into the right places. He might have osteoporosis of the skull additionally, okay, in addition to memory issues. It may not really be Alzheimer's disease, but he's got memory issues. And then, but he does have to get off of statin drugs. I mean, like immediately, not he can cold turkey off the statin drug because there's going to be residual in his body for a couple of weeks, even if he gets cold turkey off. And then he needs to, let's see here, take our Synaptive. You could take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. They provide the nutrition for brain cells that allow them to make the biochemistry so they can talk to their neighbor cells. Okay. And also the de-stress capsules. I want him to take 3 of those twice a day. That's good for the brain function also. And let's see here. We have Memory FX. He can take Memory FX, 3 of those twice a day. It's 2 bottles a month. And, he might say, well, this is an awful lot of pills. Okay, well, then enjoy your Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it's simple. If you fight it, it makes it more difficult and prolongs the symptoms. So Dr. Wallach, Curie also has a question in regards to what would be the ideal weight for a female, 6'1". She's 55 years old, but passes for 40. So what would be an ideal weight for a 6'1" female?
Okay. Let's see here. She could be 160, 170. Okay. And, I deal with a lot of basketball players, both men and women. So I deal with a lot of women who are 6 foot tall, 5'10" to some of them are close to 7 foot tall. Okay. And so, but they do have to take their nutrients according to their body weight, not their height, but their body weight. And this is not difficult, but they do need to take them, especially if they're exercising or doing, home work or working in the garden and so working up a sweat and so forth. But it's one of those things where, yep, you do have to take all 90. And in the old days, they did it by, and of course, it wasn't the same everywhere because they were putting wood ashes into their gardens. And again, nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. So some wood ashes had 3 minerals in them. Some wood ashes had 5. Some wood ashes had 8. Some wood ashes had 10. Some wood ashes had 18. Some wood ashes had 25. Some had 40. Very rarely did they have all 60. And this is these places on earth where the people live to be 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. These are the places where people live a long time because of volcanoes, glaciers, volcanoes, and all that kind of stuff. These minerals are there and they're growing their own food. They're not importing food. So they're getting those minerals from the volcanic ash. And so this is why they do live a long time.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Can you believe 2 hours are gone already?
Well, I have so much fun dealing with you and your team, Rebecca, every Friday. And of course, the people who call in, I consider our family. And so, we have this huge family all over the world, 80 countries now. And you hear just about every health problem you can think of. And a lot of health problems you don't hear about much often. And it's because of misinformation they're given by the medical system. They're given misinformation, and in many cases, they're not given any information at all from their health classes at school or their science classes at school. So they just sort of kind of hit and miss it based on what they read on, the back of the label of some candy bar or something like that. And so it's really a sad thing.
It is really sad where people get their information and believe, whatever they read or whatever they hear, whatever they see as being truth without looking into
Source.
any actual research.
Yep.
So you have so many books that share actual research, Dr. Wallach. It's incredible to be able to see boxes and boxes of just books waiting to go into the hands of individuals that need them so badly. Everybody, you have been watching Ask Doc Live on behalf of myself, Rebecca Dukes-Kozak, and my co-hosts, Dr. Judy Reynolds, Heather Bowen, John T. McCollier, Nasima Omar, and Ruth Ellen Sanchez, and of course, the one and only Dr. Joel Wallach. We invite you to feel the difference and be empowered of your own health journey by taking your nutrition into your own hands. The body wasn't made from chemicals and junk, folks. That's our first clue as to what we need in order to create, recreate, and continue healthy cell generation. We'll see you next time on Ask Doc Live. Bye.
God bless you, Rebecca. Love you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dr. Wallach. Bye, everybody.